don't think so. Oh man, what a weird morning I'm having. I hope it gets better with this today. I don't know. I'm just having a really strange morning this morning. Owen came and helped me. That was good, but I was like, I'm so discombobulated. And my iPad didn't charge. I hope it stays charged for our whole session and everything else. And today is Friday, and you guys have said, "Oh, I want to do Joyful Fridays again." And I was last night. I was sitting thinking because I was like, "All right, I want to do this or that," and then I started thinking about the joy. And then I came up with too many projects. It's been a while since we've done the joy, and I'm like, wow, I have so many projects to that I want to share, especially if you're kind of new to the joy, because I know a lot of people got the joy and now they see this brand new machine out called the Cricut Venture, which is like 5 times the cost of the joy. And they say to themselves, do I need that? And for the most part, unless you are like running a business or a big, I don't know, church or school or whatever. Most of the stuff you can do on the joy. The other projects, the other machines are good for larger projects, different types of materials. But the joy is great for paper. It also does great on iron-on. It does great on vinyl. So if you have an itch for vinyl and everything like that, you might, carefully consider when you're buying a Cricut machine or any machine of that for that matter. I happen to love my maker because it's just, I don't know, I love it. But I also love this machine. I knew when I saw the Venture that it just was not for me. I don't have the space for it, but I could see the applications for people who are trying to run a business. And in fact, my friend Wendy, who runs a sign shop, was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I would like that. She thought the price was a little bit high. So it's ginormous. Yes, please do that. So Gail, who has ventured to the venture and also has a joy, and I think another machine, Gail, if I'm not mistaken, is saying that she's going to take a picture and put them side by side so that way you can see how different it is. I love my joy because it's personal. So if you're the kind of person that likes to do things, maybe you like to stamp, or you like to do embossing, or you like to do all kinds of embellishments, and you're starting to think, well, I could maybe use a machine to cut out different parts of my cards. The Joy's perfect for that. It's perfect. So that you will depending. Now, if you're a quilter and you want to like do fabric cutting or something like that, then Maker is yours. Is the one that you probably want to consider. And then if you just like making average size things beyond just a small card or a small decal or a sticker, then maybe you might consider doing the Explore 2, which is a great machine, and there's also Explore 3. The only difference between the 3 and the other machines, because there's a Maker 3, Explore 3, and the only difference between those two is that the 3s take what's called smart materials, and those are materials that do not need to be on a mat. But which the Joy also doesn't. You can also use matless for the Joy. But today we're going to use the mats because we're not going to be cutting out, for instance, smart vinyl, smart iron-on. We're going to just talk about paper applications for the Joy. So I just wanted to show you, because the Joy mat comes in a couple of different sizes. And if you have an intention of, all right, I'm going to just make the cards using the Joy app. Remember the Joy app, which is very nice. Then you're going to need a card mat. This is what a card mat it looks like, and you will need to replace these from time to time. That is one of the downsides of the mats. However, there are ways to prolong their life, and I'm going to show you a couple of. I've had these mats, so these ones I got because they were on sale, and I was like, yeah, pick a couple of those up. But these other ones I've had for a while, and some of them still have stick on them. Some of them the stick has sort of come less sticky, you'll see. And depending on where you are in the mat game, you can do a couple of things to clean these and extend their life. They're not going to last forever, but you can extend their life. One of the things that I do, it's the simplest thing to do, is to just clean your mats, and you can do that either with hot soapy water and like a little bit of a sponge if you want to use a sponge, and it will take up all of these little bits. Why does this happen? Well, it happens because paper is a living, breathing thing, you know. It comes from wood, and so the pulp in the paper, which is like little strands of things, will come off and get onto your mat, and so you just do need to clean it off. You won't see this happening as much if you have, for instance, only been using vinyl or iron-on or infusible ink, because they have a different background or a different piece of that's touching the mat. But when we use paper, you will find the mat degrades a little bit. The other thing you can do, and I was looking, this is what I meant about it being weird. I was looking for my Zig 2A pen. This is a pen that is a glue pen, and it's got a chisel tip that you can then re-stick your mats. It doesn't just have to be the Joy mats. It can also be the larger 12 by 12 or 12 by 24 mats. Now, I did do that with this one. I just wanted to show you. Now, you can see, I don't know if I move it, I hope you can see it. But like what I did here was I put the glue here, and then I made like an X, like a barn door, so that the paper could stick. Now I could still clean this, which I should, because look at all the mess on this. But I've had this mat for, I think since 2020. So, and I don't use them as much as my 12 by 12 mats, but I still feel like you can get a lot of use out of them. There are also alternative manufacturers for the Joy mats and for the regular mats, and you can try them. I tried this one. It's DIYIT. I don't know how you pronounce that. Diet. Or you can buy them directly from Cricut, or you can buy them from a third party, such as like Amazon. I find usually around this time of year, Cricut does do a mat sale, and you can pick up these. They're still not like in a group. I always wanted them to sell like 3 at a time, but they've never came around to that. Boy, they must really not have liked me. I have all these ideas that they never chose. Oh well. Anyway, so that's what's up about the Joy. Now the Joy is a machine. Drives you bonkers, right, Kim? Same here. And there is a little pen. When I find it, I'll take a picture and I'll give it to you. But it's called the two-way zip. It's called a zip two-way pen, and with a chisel tip. And I could probably send you a link on it, because it's made by, I think it's made by Sunico or something like that. But anyway, so if you are kind of like, I got this Joy, but I didn't take it out of the box, or I haven't really played around with it all that much, today's all going to be about like reintroducing yourself to the Joy. So one of my favorite things to do with the Joy is cut out paper. And I love making things like gift tags. And so I wanted to show you a couple of gift tags that I did, and I also want to show you like kind of how to work. And I hope that my iPad's gonna stay alive. It's only got like 16%. I was like charge right before it came on. So the first thing that you have to remember about the Joy is that there are no buttons on it. Okay, so no buttons to touch or to even have the mat go in and all of that stuff. So in order to coordinate it or to use it, you need a device, whether it's a laptop, an iPad, or even your phone. And you'll need also the iPad app. There are actually two apps. I'm going to show you where they are. So there are two apps for the Joy. There's one that's just the Joy app, and there's one that is also the Design Space app. Both of them are free, and you can get them at let me see if I can find in the App Store. If you go to the App Store, so if you have like iPhone, you would go to the app store, and you could do a search, and you can type in Cricut. And if we just type in Cricut and not Design Space, you'll see that there are these other ones. So here's the regular Cricut for Design Space, okay? And then there's also, and this can be a little confusing, but there's also, because a lot of people like want to imitate them, I guess. But here's the other one. It's just for the Cricut Joy. This is perfect if you want to make cards, labels, and you don't want to deal with like all of the aspects of Design Space. Design Space, when you're first getting started, can be confusing. So be careful. When you're getting started, and you might want to use the Joy app, which is sort of, you must have a Joy for it to work, and it allows you to do a lot of different things like cards and labels and gift tags. You can also cut out vinyl, whatever, all of this stuff you can cut out, and you do need to create an ID. In this case, look, I've got to go in and put in my ID. Let's do that. And yahoo.com. All right. Okay, so let's do that return. It's very overcast here today. It feels like fall. Isn't that weird? That always happens around here in Massachusetts in August. We get sort of like a, okay, summer's over kind of thing. And it feels like fall gets like overcast. And it was always for me the sign up, you better get your butt over to Target and get back to school clothes or whatever for my son. So, anyway, so here is the Joy app. You can see you can do insert cards, you can do cutaway cards, paper crafts. There's a bunch of insert cards here that you can make, and they're all pre-made for you. There's over 1,300 cards. Oh, look, they just added some doggy cards. Thanks for being the best vet. Oh, they're kitty ones too. Just thank you for taking care of my furry friend. There's a hello neighbor. So these really speak to, someone who is short on time. They just want to make a cute card. Maybe they want to attach it to a box of cookies or something and welcome them to the neighborhood or as a thank you. And these are just really terrific. Now, if you want to get a little more specific than that, you do need to use the regular Joy app. Now, which I showed you. Now, when you're using the Joy app, it showed you where to get it. You do need to make sure your machine selection is on Joy. So in order to get there, you do have to go over here to this hamburger icon. And then press that. I'm going to use my pen. Okay, and choose machine selection, and then choose which of the machines you're going to use. Now I noticed that the Venture isn't on here. I think it has its own software, but in this case, the Joy you can use with both its own software and Design Space. So we're choosing the Cricut Joy. and then we're going to cancel because it was already chosen. The other place that you need to remember is if you're working like with an iPad or with your phone, is you need to connect the Bluetooth. So you're going to go to settings. All right, so this is my settings, and I'm going to go down on the left hand side, and you can see Bluetooth. So click on that, and you can see here that it's on. My Bluetooth is on, my Apple Pencil is connected, and now my Joy is connected. But if it's not connected, you do need to connect it. So for example, let's disconnect this so you can see what I'm talking about. So you come to the Bluetooth, you turn the Bluetooth on if it's not already, and then you would hit Joy, and it would take a few seconds, and then it's connected. Now you can go about your I can make anything I want business. Now the one thing to consider with the Joy is that you cannot have there are two measurements. Okay, so the Joy can do, if you're doing something on the mat, the Joy can do up to 11.5 inches long. Okay, but the width is always going to be, you see that this mat is 4.5, the width is always 4.25 inches wide, which when you think about it, a lot of times you have like a long piece and that's going to work for you. But sometimes you might need to change the size or whatever. So I'm going to go to the home page, and I'm just going to show you if I can. I'm rather rusty on this. So let's see if I can't find something about the Joy. If you type in Joy, oftentimes if you have a card that has the word Joy on it, it will come up as well. So we'll just type in Joy and see what happens. So this is what I mean. So in the event that you want to do something on your Joy, and you want to do a Joy wording on your Joy, for instance, like on this one, it says Joy, and I'm sure you could have cut it in your Joy, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that says I can cut this on the Joy. Oh, look at this absolutely adorable tool holder for the Joy. Smart idea. So I'm going to just kind of just go down and have a look at what's here. So you can see here, like for instance here, this Joy ornament. This could actually be cut on the Joy, and would be a perfect project for the Joy because it's small enough that it's going to be cut. And there's a Joy card that also can be cut on the Joy. So there's quite a few different things, and it makes it a little bit hard to find the Joy project. Maybe there's a different way. Oh, he brought you. Oh, very nice. I love that holder too, right? So I'm going to actually go to look at my stuff because I put together a few things here. So one of the things that I saw was this is old school kind of Zoe Deschanel. She did some things for Cricut back in the day. I don't know, a few years ago at least. And so she came up with these kind of, she talks a little bit kind of kooky and fun. So she came up with like these gift tags. I like you. Definitely not socks. Better than a gift card. And let me just show you, because that's what I was playing with this morning. Look at how adorable these are. And these are actually smaller than what I could cut on the Joy. So let's play around with that a little bit, okay? So these are actually, I'm going to make these live because I'm going to make them, what do you call them, public? Edit the project details, and let's see, I can just go ahead and, but can make it public here. I think there's a way of making it public here, but I don't remember. So I'm kind of like copy, edit, print, add to collection. Now I don't want to delete. What's this? Arrow. Nope. That's to save it, and then that's to like it. All right, let's do this. We're going to customize this. Now these images I found in Design Space, and they are already pre-made for you. I think that's one of the things that's cool about Design Space and the app is that there are a lot of things that are pre-made, so you don't have to think about, I need a gift card, or I need a gift tag or something like that. You can find them in that homepage, but you have to look carefully, is what I'm saying at that. So in this case, these ones are actually two pieces of gift card. They have the red and green on the top, and they have the gold and the silver. Now these are sized at 2.25, let's just click on that, 2.23, I'm sorry, inches, and that's width, and then the height is 4.1 inches. Okay, now I made sure that all of these were sized the same. All right, so these are all sized the same. So let's go ahead and do a round of these. So you see I'm going to need red, green, and then gold and silver glitter paper. So let's go ahead and look at paper. So you know there are papers that are smart papers and what have you, but I've found with using my Joy, I can just use some of the paper that I already have, and the way that I can do that is using this little cutting machine board or whatever, cutting I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it has this little thing here, and it's a ruler, and it goes from 1 all the way up to 16. It goes from right to left, and that's going to work out just fine because here's my 12 by 12 sheet of Cricut cardstock, and I want to use it in my Joy. Obviously it's too big, so what I'm going to do is lift up here. See that? I'm going to move my camera just a little bit so you can see. All right, so I'm going to lift up here, and then I'm going to slide it underneath here, and then using this top part, I'm going to arrange it so that the edge is on 4.5 inches, okay? So there's 4.5 inches. Hold it up. Make sure you press it up against the top of that ruler, okay? And then you close this. And I know you can't see that. I don't know why, but all right. And then we're going to take this little handle and press and push at the same time, up and down. You can go up and down if you want, but there's my perfectly cut 4.5 inch piece of cardstock. Let's do the same for our gold and our red. All right, so here's silver. I'm going to do the same thing, 4.5 inches. Now, the reason why I like to do it on this kind of paper is that you get a whole long sheet, so you can use the long form mat. But if you don't have the long form mats, or maybe you only have 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, you can use 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper, but in the end, it will only be 11 inches long. So consider that, okay? And we've got our green, we've got our glitter. Let's do our red. This is a great way to save paper too, because you don't have all these like cutout pieces on your good glitter. You have these strips, and they're easier to store, right? So there's my cuts from my 12 by 12 inch paper. Again, you can use 8.5 by 11, and for our cutout we were going to need one of each of these. So let's get the brand new mats, because there's nothing like a brand new mat. I love brand new mats. All right, so let's open it up. Now you will note that this also comes in a blue color. So if you happen to be like a Joann's or whatever, and you see it and it's on sale and it's in blue, that's fine, because the blue works very similar to the green. The blue is called a light grip mat, but I'll be really honest with you, I haven't really seen too much of a difference except for wear and tear. The blue seems to last a little bit longer, but it costs more. So here are two brand new mats. If you are a very organized person, unlike me, you will keep this this bit, and then it always ends up on the floor, and I slip on it. So which is why it's not that I'm not organized; it's just I'm clumsy. So we're going to take our paper and we're going to put it right here onto the mat. It fits perfectly onto the grid. Let's do that for this one as well. And take our paper and put that on. Now remember, we have our machine all hooked up, but if you coming in late or whatever, you're like, where did you hook it up? When this video turns to non-live, you can go back and listen to all the points. If you're brand new to the Joy, you can listen to all those points. You can like rewind and everything. So I'm going to also get a couple of these these older ones. I am overwhelmed. I have so much stuff. A Calgon, take me away. All right, so here we go. Now, Teddy Bear, are you eating Benji's busy bone? What are you eating? I don't know. He's eating plastic. I got them because they love to chew like hard plastic, and so I got him this busy bone. And Teddy Bear went in the other room and he ate his like in 5 minutes. And it's supposed to last him all day. And Benji is doing what they should do. He still has his, and he's under my feet. But he wanted to chew, and that's both. All right. Okay. So now I have my 4 mats ready to go. My Joy machine is on here as well. Oh, and it's Loretta. Loretta's saying put a label on here so I don't lose it and then end up tripping on it, and when I get up. So let's go back to our project. This project will be available for the public as soon as I can figure out how to do it. So let's see. All I'm gonna do is I have these all sized exactly the way I want them, and I'm gonna hit make it. Okay, so you see up here it says mat 1 of 4. So that means I have these 4 mats right here, and it's separating it by the colors. It doesn't know yet that I have glitter paper. That comes later. Okay, so if you wanted to, you can make some changes here, and you have to make a change because it says without the mat. You see that, without the mat. So when you click on without the mat, it will bring up this sort of like worksheet kind of a thing, and you're going to go in and you're going to change the material to on mat. Okay, and we're going to also change the material size to 12 inches long. This is how we get to use both our long mats and just to use the mats, okay? So make sure you go in there and you're going to choose on mat and choose 12-inch mat. If you don't need the 12-inch mat, that's fine too. You can leave it at that size, but I always find make it the 12 inches. And so the last one I need to do is here. I'm going to go on the mat, and then I'm going to choose 12 inches. All right. Then I'm going to close, and now you can see my mats. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you're an advanced user, you may be able to do some things like save some paper by moving your image if it will fit. So for instance, I've done this where I can move my image like this and it will save. It will allow me to cut and save some paper, but it's not necessary for you to do that. You can do it stacked like this or stacked like that. So I just want to show you that you can manipulate them a little bit, but if they are outside of the range of the 4 1/4, they won't be able to turn all the way. Okay, then we're going to hit next. and we're going to get to the materials portion. Okay, so you see up here it has this 3 of 4 mats that we have selected, and now we need to choose the material. So we have 2 different materials here. This is a medium medium weight cardstock. Most of the cardstock that I use is medium weight, and so I choose medium cardstock. So I'm going to go up here to all materials so you can see my choices. So there are some that are compatible, and there's a lot that are incompatible. So I always say go ahead and check under the compatible, but you could also do bookmarked or all. But if you see something that is shaded out, well, no, they took it out. It used to be if you did all, certain ones would just, you would not be able to. Maybe they just took them out. I don't know. Okay, so here I'm going to look at compatible, and I am going to look for my medium cardstock, which is right here. Okay, so there's my medium cardstock. Now you'll notice, or I hope you notice, that the machine starts blinking. It's indicating that it wants to cut something. And so here we go. Here is our joy mat, and I'm going to just open it up, and I feed it through these little side guides. And already I have my my pen in there. We can talk about, not my pen, I have my blade in there. We can talk about the pen in just a second. And then we're going to hit go. While it's cutting, I'm going to talk about the pen. So the Joy pen is different size than the regular pen from the other machines, okay? Whoa, look, see that? That's why it's good to be here, because it lifted from, this was not one of our brand new mats, so I should have checked to make sure it was stuck on there really good. All right, so the Joy pens come in all sorts. It comes in a fine line pen, metallic. It comes in the 1.0 millimeter head. This one is actually watercolor. It comes also in infusible ink. So there's a lot of choices that you can use for your Joy. But if you have a project that you're doing a pen work on, you will need to do the pen part first, and afterwards put in the blade, okay? So that would just be meaning your machine will tell you insert your pen, and you would just take it off like this. This one here is a watercolor marker, and then you would open this and just pop it in, close it, and it would do the pen part. And once the pen part was over, then you would put your blade in, because Cricut machines always does the pen first, okay? Pen first and then the cutting. I know it's a little odd when people are first learning that. They're like, why is it cutting? It hasn't. But it's just how they designed the machines, and they're all like that. Now look at that. That was pretty quick. I have my two green cut out here, and it's telling me, okay, you need to unload my material. So I'm going to hit OK, and it will automatically unload for me. And next up is the red cardstock. Now, if I were doing this all in the medium cardstock, what I could do, I'm going to choose the medium cardstock. What I could do is I could, well, first of all, I could change the pressure. I don't have to do that when I'm grouping them together, but you can also choose remember material settings. So by using this little switch, it will remember that I want to use medium cardstock. The only thing about this is I am also have glitter coming up, right? And so I need to remember that when I go to put in my glitter mat. Okay, so otherwise it will not cut out correctly. So there's our brand new mat. So I won't have it sort of leaping off the page. Now here, let's just show you what I got. This says I like you, but it just says like you. Did it not say I like you? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the way I put my mat in. All right, so then I have to go again, guys, and it's going to go ahead. Leslie, I'm going to have to come over to that craft room someday and talk to you about your crafting. I think you're way more organized than I am. All right, so let's let that go. I can get a drink of water. And here you see there is the top part of our gift tag. Unfortunately, because of the way that it went in the machine, it didn't do the whole round here. Now I'm going to show you how to kind of fix that error so you don't, oh, it says, I like you. Okay, I'm sorry. I told you I'm having a weird day today. And then what we need, because when we cut out the glitter part, we're going to need some twine and maybe a pair of scissors. So go, while this is cutting out, go get your scissors and your twine ready. And then here you go, there is my mat. Now this is a good scrap. So what I would suggest if you're new to crafting with a Cricut is get yourself a cardboard box, you know, a short one, doesn't have to be all that big, and throw your scraps right on in to that cardboard box. And then once it gets filled up, and it will get filled up, go through it, sort through it, and see if there's anything you'd like to save. And in most cases, you do want to save it. And then you take your scissors, and you're just going to go ahead and sort of make little nice, neat scraps. But a lot of times, you know, we get like so that overwhelmed, and so people will cut this whole thing away because this is the part they wanted to cut off, and it makes it hard to store it. So I suggest the box underneath your desk, that's just a cardboard box from Amazon or whatever, and I just throw those pieces in there. And then when, it's usually once a season, I'll go through my box and I'll clear up and I'll have all my nice neat pieces, and then this part just gets recycled, okay? And, oh, hi Dan. Let's see what else people are saying. I'm trying to read all the comments, and I shouldn't be reading all the comments. But there you go. There's our medium cardstock. So let's go ahead and do our glitter cardstock for the gold and the silver. Now you see here, this one is showing up as the silver. So we need to change our material, and we're going to go Edit, All Materials, and we're going to choose under cardstock, all materials, glitter cardstock. See that? Glitter cardstock. I got the pressure set for more. It's just how I do things. And then I have this toggle on now to remember the material setting. So all I need to do is then take these two individually, of course, and run them through the Joy, and it will cut it perfectly because it will cut for the glitter cardstock. However, sometimes you're in a rush or your brain's elsewhere, and you might have an issue where the you put the wrong material before you went ahead to hit go. That's why they give you all this stuff. So then you can say, oh, I got the wrong thing. You can hit edit, and you can go ahead and edit, okay? So there's kind of like a lot of foolproof methods in here, okay? Then I hit go. And while I'm hitting go, while it's cutting out this will be even faster because it's just the background. I'm going to take off my little strip. And the best way to take off from a mat, especially a new mat, is to roll it off like this. So don't be afraid to bend your mat, because that is okay, and it helps keep your paper in line. Now, something I noticed just now is that it didn't cut all the way through, so I'm going to show you what to do when that happens. All right, let's just put our glitter cardstock in there. I don't know if I had more pressure on before, but I'm going to use a couple of tools in case this happens to you. So here's one thing that I think a lot of people that have the joy don't realize, and that is you do have to change the blade from time to time, and it really does depend on how much you're going to use it. It's not like I could say to you, okay, every month change your blade. Unless you're using it every single day and you're using all these different kinds of cutting materials, you can't really gauge it very well. I have found that joy blades do get, they get less, what, they get duller faster. So, and the joy blades take they're expensive, so I have indeed also purchased off-brand blades, and I'm going to show you, if I can pardon my reach, and I have them up here. Okay, here they are. So these are the off-brand Cricut joy blades, which I have purchased from Amazon, and they are much cheaper. They do, however, they don't last very long either. So I don't know why that happens with the joy blades. It's just the way that it is with them. Okay, so there's my gold, and here's my silver. Ooh, brand new mat. So just be careful when you're taking that off, because if it's a brand new mat, it's really sticky. And then you're going to want to bend that mat. It can go either way, this way or this way. Okay, so there's our glitter, and here's our gold. So cute. So by the end of today's lesson, you're going to have 4, if you're using this file, you're going to have 4 gift tags ready to go. And isn't it the worst at Christmas time when you run out of gift tags? Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it. All right, so there you go. This is what's going to happen. But remember, this one didn't cut all the way through. So I am going to go in there, and I'm going to use, this is me doing surgery on my cards, because sometimes things don't work all the way. So I'm going to use my True Control knife, and I'm going to try to make that a complete circle like that, and there you go. It's cut out. But it's the kind of thing you have to kind of practice, and the True Control knife can be very, very sharp. So this is our completed one, and I'm just going to take a little bit of twine. This is twine. I found this twine. It's very thin twine. At Michael's. They sell it around Christmas time. It's not as thick as the twine I usually like to use, but it's the one that they sell at Michael's around Christmas time. So if you're going to the store and you are looking to pick up some twine, then this is probably what you'll get. There is a thicker twine that I like to use. There are a couple of companies, one of which is called Just Artifacts, and the other one is called Trendy Twine, and they have all of the different kinds of twine, and there you go. There is a completed project. Now, what happens when you get something like this, and it's not all the way cut through? Well, sometimes you can salvage this as well. So you can just go ahead and take something like this weeding tool or whatever you have, and you can start poking out those pieces, because sometimes they just don't cut all the way through, but they're fine just poking them out like this. There are times, however, that this does not work, and you end up with a big old mess like this. This is kind of a mess, because look, these didn't really even cut through at all. And so again, you can either elect to cut it again. Make sure you can check your blade. So I'm going to check my blade. And also, yeah, my blade had some glitter on it, but that was probably got there after I cut the medium blade. And I'm just going to, it doesn't feel super like I could prick my finger with it, so it's possible that I had that either I had a wrong setting or a dull blade. So here's my less dull blade, my blade. So I'm going to just show you how to change the blade. So you see, you noticed I opened it up right here. There's a little clamp. This is the housing of the blade. To change the blade, you're going to press down and it comes out. Be careful because it can still be pretty sharp, and it has a little magnetism right in there. See? And so you do have to pull that out, put that aside, and definitely get rid of it in a proper way. So then I'm going to press again and put it in, and you can see that magnetic part just pull in like that. Now I do use these little rubber caps just to kind of place it over there, because as I said, I have dogs that eat everything, and they're short enough to get into a waste bag, short bin, a waste bin. So then I'm just going to put that back in and close it up. Now I want to recut it. So I'm going to go back, and I am going to, you see, it's done cutting, but we're going to find the red one, and we're going to do next. And let's find that nice new mat. And we're going to also get, wait, I got to move all my stuff over because I need to cut a piece of my paper. Where's my paper? All right, here you go. Here's a piece of paper. This is the 8.5 by 11. I'm going to put it in this way, lengthwise, and I'm going to cut it at the 4.5-inch mark. And just being mindful that if my cut is longer than 11 inches, it will not cut out completely, but I believe ours are not. And then we're going to put this on. There we go. I'm going to choose medium cardstock, and I am going to choose more pressure, and I'll do remember material settings, and then we are going to put it into the joy. So we have a few new people on today. If you are new, say hi and tell us where you're from. This is one of the most welcoming and happy places in all of craftdom, and we know each other just because of meeting each other. Oh, Tonda, we are going to be doing a special Zoom class to do that Dreaming Tree Haunted House, the one that's called the Mother Bates's house, which is just terrific. And so we'll be talking about that. It will be free to join. It's just an opportunity for us to all get together and put this monstrosity, and it is pretty big, put this monstrosity together. Running out of my water. Yes, okay. So Jamie, who is kind of an expert on things, she found the joy blades really get gunked up, and they last a lot longer if you wipe them off with a little bit of alcohol. Okay, that would be great. Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Hi, Pat. How are you? How are you? Right. Now, if you're the kind of person that wants to use somebody's outside design for the joy, that's completely doable. And I wanted to show you a design that I did last month that was this. I think this was last month. So this is a really cute card. It's called a slice form card. And I got it from... a lot of dog hair on it. I got it from myscrapchick.com. So if you look at some cards and you're like, hey, I really would love to make this, but all I have is the joy. That's what I hear people say. All I have is a joy. Don't say that, because there are very few things that the joy can't do. And this is one that it can do, because all of the pieces are within that boundary. The width of the project is no greater than 4¼ okay. So another time I'll show you how to use an SVG that you maybe purchased at My Scrap Chick and do it on the joy, because I think it's so much easier and more joyful to do it that way. All right, so let's hit OK. We're going to unload and let's push this back. Jamie, I'll come back and clean my blade. Thank you for that tip. And we'll just go ahead and remove the extra. And there, that worked. That worked. And there are some people on that are really cool about keeping this stuff, the cutout part, so the reverse cutout, and they use it on another card, which I think is grand. It's a great idea. And so if you do that, more power to you. Any way you can recycle projects or product material or whatever, the better. So here's this one, and when you put look at the gold underneath that. Fear not, I kept the receipt. And then this one says, better than a gift card. So cute. So that is sort of a quickie, like a reintroduction to our joy machines. I have to admit, it's been a long time since I've used it, but then again, I'm just getting back to crafting. So if you've never used yours, let's say you have it and you've never used it, or you just kind of you got out of the crafting game, or you started to prefer one machine over the other, don't look away at the joy, because it really is a great little project, a great little machine. It does a lot of different projects, and you could be up to your eyeballs in gift tags and this time of the year, so that way at Christmas time you're not like rushing to make them. But even still, if you're rushing to make them at Christmas time, we did that in less than, I don't know, a half hour, and I was talking the whole time. So so here you go. Here's a great way to build up your gift tags. There are a million gazillion gift tag options out there, and I'm going to make mine public so that you can see my gift tags. If you don't know what I mean about making something public, let me just show you. I hope I still have, yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to use the back button. I'm going to save this because I don't know, it says that I made some changes, so I'm going to do a save as and save it to the cloud. Okay, and then when we're talking about profiles, you have a profile established, and here's mine. Mine's Miss Rita to the rescue, and you can see here view profile. But this is also interconnected with the Cricut community. So you see here, I have shared 742 projects to the Cricut community. Almost every single one of them are access exclusives, or they're free if you have an access. Now, not all of these are going to work in the Joy, but most of them, a lot of them will, because they're little tiny pieces. Like for instance, this one here, this project was really fun. It had some pretty small pieces, and then these larger pieces I would just cut on my other machine or by hand. Okay, and I'm trying to think, I think I have a collection of just Joy stuff. So I'll just go ahead and make sure that those are made public so that you guys can find them. So these are just my Joy projects. Look, I've got tons of them. So that is just a fun machine. Don't forget about it. She didn't want to work. Aww. Oh, she might like it better. You call her a she. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for me for this week and for today. If you haven't seen our other videos from this week, we made, let's see, I'm trying to remember what we made. We made some pretty cool things. Let me just go back to my stuff and see if it jogs my memory. My stuff, my projects, and uh, oh, these are all things that I was thinking. Remember, I told you we did the Santa ornament from Dreaming Tree. We did also a Santa gift card holder, and I'm trying to remember what all else. I had a day off this week because I was visiting with my sister, and then another day off. So yeah, that's kind of did it for me for this week. Next week, in our continuing effort to teach everybody about Cricut, we're gonna be back. I'll be back hopefully 5 days at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. You can find me as long as you subscribe to my channel. You'll get a notification that I'm going live. Okay. Otherwise, you can find me by typing in Miss Rita to the rescue, either in on the YouTube app or on the Facebook app, because I have presence there and at Facebook and also on YouTube. All right, everybody, that's everything for me today. I will see you again next week. I hope you have a lovely weekend and enjoy it. And you have to go over to Target and get your baby clothes, your back to school clothes. Get on over and do that now. Don't wait too long. Like and say, oh, I'll go to the pool. Nope, this is the time of year that at least my region says, no more pool time. Go down over to the store and pick up all your supplies. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Oh, your vacation's over. Aw. Well, whenever you can make it, and you guys know I'm here for you. So if you have any problems, feel free to reach out to me. And tell your friends. If you have somebody that bought a brand or they got it for Christmas and they still haven't taken it out of the box, I'm here to show you how to do all that stuff, all this fun stuff you thought of at Christmas. I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm here to show you how to do that, and my friends over here are here to show you all of details that I might miss when I'm talking, because I talk a lot. All right, you guys, take care, and we'll see you again on Monday. Bye.